Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm the CEO Fluxify Apparels, and I'm going to be teaching you on how to draft the trendy baggy pants with an Ankara fabric. As you can see, I've folded my fabric on fold, so I'm going to be determining how wide I want my pants to look. So by this, you take the widest part of your body, which is my hip. So my hip divided by 4, then I can add an extra 6 inches, 5 inches, 6.5 inches, as wide as I want. So go ahead and divide your hip by 4 and add the extra you want as wide as you want. So mine, I did 6.5 extra inches. That's how wide I want my pants. So first, I'm going to go ahead and mark my starting point. So I'm coming down by 1 inch, like you can see. So go ahead and mark 1 inch from your fabric. So I'm going to be joining all the lines, connecting my point, as you can see right here. So I'm going to be determining where my hip is going to lie, which is my hip line. So I'm coming down by 9 inches. So some persons can use 8 inches, some can use 7.5, some can use 10, some can use 9.5. So depending on your size. I'm connecting the lines. So there is my hip line. And please note that my chalk is not really clear, but I know as you follow, you understand. So while I was done marking my hip line, I went down from the hip line by 2.5 to mark my crush line. Yes, for every trouser, the crush line is very important. So I went down by 2.5 for my crush line, and I'm going to be determining my full length. So the full length of the Ankara is already 45, so that sits well with me. So if you're using a crepe fabric that has a longer length, you can determine the length you desire to achieve. For me, this 45 is very okay, because when I add my band into it, is already going to be more than it, and fold it is going to be just good. So I went ahead to mark my hip line. So that hip, now I divide my hip by 4. Divided by 4, I'm going to mark it on my hip line and on my waistline and on my crochet. This is to form a box. So when I was done marking the hip line, on the hip line, sorry, I'll add like 3.5 inches extra. So on that line where I added 3.5 inches extra, like you can see the way I'm doing it, yes, I'm going to draw a line to connect. So this is my box. It has formed a box. It should look like this. While drafting, yours should look exactly like this. So now I want to determine my crush extension, and this is what you're going to be doing. Your original hip allowance, your original hip measurement, you divide that hip measurement by 4. For instance, if your hip measurement is 44, you divide by 4, it's going to give you 11. That same 11, you're going to divide it by 4 again. So it's going to give you 2.75 thereabouts. So, but I choose to use 2.5, and it works very well for me. Very well. So I'm going to be marking my 2.5 right away. So here we have it. Then I also want to determine where I want my curve to go and stop. So I come down from the waistline and mark my 6.5. So when I'm curving my crush extension to that crush line, that box that we formed is going to sit very well. That's where I want it to be. So this is me connecting all lines. Just follow the way I'm doing it, and you're going to get exactly what you desire to have. So I was done connecting, and this looks very pretty. So let's go ahead and connect. So you're going to be calculating from your cross extension now. You're going to be calculating what you have from your cross extension right to your side seam. Whatever you have there, that's what you're going to be marking all the way down to your full length. So as you can see me, I measured first from the cross extension down to the seam line. Whatever you have is what you're going to be marking down. See the way I marked it? I went to the seam line to start marking what I have from that cross extension to my seam line. So I marked all the way down. So for instance, if you marked what you have was say 25, you're going to be marking 25 all the way down, and you're going to be connecting it down just the way you see me do with ruler. Yes, and this is just it. This is just it, because you know that for a baggy pant, both the hip and the waist measurements are the same. We're going to be using a elastic band for this. So you see me cutting and cutting. Yes, thank you. Just cut the way you see me do. So I was done cutting. I'm going ahead to cut for the seam sides. I was done cutting. I'm going to be placing it for the back measurement. So I pin down so that you don't have shifted fabric. So I'm going to be placing my front on my back fabric so I can cut my back. Usually the back is usually wider than the front, just the way you see right here. So whatever I add on my cross extension, which was 2.5, I'm going to bring it out the way you see me do it right now. Yes, I'm going to coming out by 2.5. So that same 2.5, you're going to go back to your line. That's the flap line. Yes, you're going to go back to it and mark the 2.5 all the way to the waist. And on that waistline on the front, you come up by 2 inches. Yes, from that waistline, I went up by 2 inches, as you can see. Yes, I went up by 2 inches. So I'm going to be connecting that 2 inches down to where my waistline is. But first of all, I'm going to be connecting my flap extension on the back, my cross extension from the back all the way to the center back, sorry. So then the other waist that went up by 2 inches, I connect it back to my original waist. So you see me do this, it's very simple and easy. Just follow up. So I went ahead to mark the 2.5 inches I got from my back cross extension, mark it all the way down to the full length, and I'm connecting it back with my ruler. Yes, that is it. It's as simple as that. Just follow and you get to understand what I'm doing. So as you can see, I was done drafting everything. I'm going to go ahead to cut all the way. Just cut the way you see me cut. As you notice, the back is usually wider than the front. So, and the back waist always goes up by say 2 inches. Yes, I went up by 2 inches. Some sizes you can do 1.5, some you can do 1 inch, some you can do 2 inch. So I cut all the way down. I was done cutting. So I'm going ahead to cut my sides like the way you see me do it. Yes. So this is how the back should look like when you're done cutting. This is how the back should look like when you're done cutting. So this is my front. So I'm going to go ahead to draft our pocket. So I folded the fabric into two. The length I used 9 inches. So I marked my 9 inches. So I went ahead to mark my 9 inches to form a box. So this is me marking throughout. For my wideness, I also did 9 inches. So this fabric is already on fold, like I said. So I'm cutting out. The same way I cut out, I'm going to cut another fabric on fold. You know, for a pocket, you need 4 sides to form a pocket bag. So just like you see me do, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to be placing my hand and I form a curve right here. I'm going to be forming a curve right here. So where I'm going to be fixing my hand from, make sure it's 6.5 or 7, but I did 7. So I don't want it to be too tight. So you see, I'm going to cut out. please just do same thing like the way you see me do in this video. So I'm done. Yes, I'm done cutting my pocket bag, and this is how it looks. So we're gonna move ahead. I was done stitching the front. I stitched with 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. That's the center back and the center front of my trouser. I stitched with 1/2 inch. So I'm going to be placing my pocket right away, just the way you see me do. So I went down by 1 inch from the waist and placed my pocket right side facing right side. So that 1 inch I'm going to pin down just the way you see me do. I'm pinning down. To pin down right now is very important. Pin down. Same thing I did for the other side of the trouser. I'm going to do it for the other part of the trouser. So right away I'm going to be marking, coming down by 1 inch from the waist on the seam sides, on the side seam. Sorry. So I'm going to be placing my pocket right side facing right side. So the straight side is going to be on this side of the trouser. So watch the way I'm doing it. I came down by 1 inch, and that's exactly where I'm going to be placing my pocket bag on. So don't mind me, I'm trying to figure out how best this pocket is going to sit. So go ahead and do same thing to your pattern. If you've been following from the beginning, you will understand very well that this is very easy to comprehend. So I'm done over here. I'm done. So we're done placing our pocket bag. So we went ahead to sew down the pocket bag. Then from the seam side, you're going to be sewing 1 inch. Just follow the way my hand is going, and that's how you're going to be sewing the pocket. But I'm going to be showing how you sew down the pocket so it will be easy for you. So just watch a little bit. You're going to be seeing I'm expressing how to sew it down. So, but the same way you sew for the other side, same way you sew. So look at the way I sewed mine. I sewed the pocket first, so it will be very easy for you to join both sides. So I went ahead and sewed the pocket down by 1/2 inch, and the same thing on the other side, 1/2 inch. So I went ahead to join both the back and the front so that it will be very easy for you to sew without any shaking effect on the pocket and the trouser. So like you're seeing me do from the waist, I sewed 1/2 inch, and when I got to where the pocket is, I went down round the pocket by 1/2 inch, went from the waist by 1 inch, I went from the pocket by 1/2 inch, and I went back with 1 inch. I sewed all the way down. So I was done sewing, and this is how it looks. Please go ahead and press on the trouser to give it a better look. If you can see very my threads, the way my thread went, that's how it's going to go to give you a great effect. Don't mind me. I'm using to express the outcome of the trouser. So this is how it's going to be. So I'm going to be going ahead to sew the crotch areas. That's the only area I've not sewn, because after sewing the seam sides, is the crotch area that is remaining for you to sew. So I'm going to bring the two sides together, both the back and the front crotch, and make them to be together in same line. Sorry, my camera went off here. So I'm going to be sewing all the way down with 1/2 inch, like the way you see me do. I went ahead to sew 1/2 inch. I folded the down part by 2 inches. You see? So this is how it's going to look for me. So if you've been following from the beginning, you should have something that should be looking like this, my baggy pants. And trust me, anybody you're going to sew this for is going to appreciate it big time because it's one of the easiest way. So I'm going to be going ahead to cut my band for my waist. Whatever you have on your waist, don't panic. You're going to be measuring around your waist. What you got from your waist, you're going to measure it as a band, fold it like you fold your wrapper into two. Then measure. So go ahead and cut your band with the measurements you have. So if it's 53, you fold your band into 53. Then when you're done, you mark the width. For me, I used 2.5 and I sewed on half inch. So this is how I've sewn mine. And on your center back, you don't sew everywhere. That center back, you leave it open so that your elastic can pass through it. Yes, so when you do that, it is easier for you to pass your elastic. So this is how it's going to look after you are done fixing your band. So the elastic I'm going to be using for this particular pant is the 1 inch elastic, and this 1 inch elastic is going to go through the center back of the pants. So I went ahead to weave or serge my pants. Like you can see, serge the waist all around. So I'm going to be showing you exactly what I mean by you shouldn't sew the center back. So here it is. On my center back, I left the band, that place, I left it open. I didn't serge through everything, I didn't sew. So I left like 2 inches open, and the band is also open. So I'm going to be fixing my band all the way around my baggy pants. So this is me fixing. Yes, you put your safety pin directly inside the elastic band and fix it through your waist. This is how I fix mine. So with this, I'm able to determine how loose I want my pants to be. I don't want it to be too tight, like the extent I want it to fit on my waist. I don't want it to be too tight. So this is how, after fixing, I stretch to check if that's what I want. So after I was done, I fixed the band. I sew the band together, the two ends together, and let it in, so it just goes in like that. So that center back that you didn't sew, you go ahead and stretch it out a little bit. Yes, then you sew on it half an inch. Please don't sew on your elastic. So when you were done, this is how it's going to look. So beautiful. Thank you for joining in. If you're joining us for the first time, please do well to subscribe, share, and comment. I love you all. Bye for now.